Hopefully, okay pa kayo? Ayan. Kaya pa? Alright. Sige. Alright, that's good. Thank you, Sir Leo. Okay pa tayo. Kakayanin para sa pangarap, di ba? Ayan. If may nade-demotivate sa inyo, I hope you know it's worth it. Hindi ko masasabi para sa inyo, pero for me, ang dami nang na-open na opportunities para sa akin, and yung knowledge na nakukuha mo sa CMA, ibang klase yan. Kung sinapuso mo talaga siya, tapos lumabas ka, ang idea is, I don't want to do comparisons, pero iba yung edge mo. Kasi nakikita mo yung managerial perspective. It's not just about creating the numbers, it's about using those numbers to change the future. And that's something that we talk about here. Diba? We don't just report. Tingnan mo yung topic natin. Diba? How to use the numbers to make people move. Hindi ko heartburn. May heartburn ata ako, bird pa ka ng bird. Tapos ma-update. Diba? Problema ko naman yan. So, yun siya, no? It's about using the numbers to change the future. And I think that's beautiful, diba? Sana kayo rin natutuwa doon. So, let's talk about performance measures. Mukhang wala naman tayong tanong about kanina lang. If meron man, ihabol nyo lang sa chat. Papag-usapan natin yan. So, what are the other types of performance measures? So, we know what responsibility centers are. Diba? We know the 4 types of responsibility centers. Ano pa? Diba? We talked about yung how to use the contribution margin to evaluate yung mga profit centers natin. Diba? Mga investment center, pwede rin naman. How to allocate common costs. Tapos, pero intro lang yun again. Yung computational side niya, hindi natin papag-usapan ngayon. Diba? In different types dyan, may standalone cost allocation, yung mga proration, diba? Direct, step, tapos reciprocal. Tapos, meron tayong incremental cost allocation rin. Diba? We talked about transfer pricing and its goals. Now, let's talk about other types of performance measures. Sa 4 na type ng responsibility center, ano yung issue natin dito? Diba? We need to use different ways of performance evaluation na sukat sa kung ano yung control nila. So, ang cost center, napag-usapan na natin yan. Ina-evaluate siya based on yung kanyang costs and yung cost variances niya. For a revenue center, ayun, it's evaluated based on yung sales, diba? Yung variance analysis ng kanyang sales and how well it was able to generate demand. For a profit center, evaluated siya on both, diba? Kaya lumabas yung contribution margin statement natin, diba? We need to talk about how efficient and effective it is. So we're talking about both revenues and costs. For diba? Nag-intro tayo sa investment center. We talked about ROI, we mentioned residual income, and economic value added. So ito siya, diba? Just a short reminder, ano ang goal natin when we measure performance? It has to be fair, it has to be effective. Effective in what way? Diba? So we talked about fairness, bugbog na yan. Dapat kung ano lang yung controllable. Pero when we say effective, it has to promote goal congruence. The state wherein the whole organization is aligned. From top to bottom, you have the same goal. Diba? Pero pag, diba? If hindi ka aligned, gusto ng organization mag-move forward, tapos tagilid naman pala yung mga tao niya, how do you reach your goals sa isang scenario na ganun? So, your performance measures have to promote goal congruence. All individuals within an organization and yung segments niya, all working towards achieving the organization's goal. Diba? Short-term versus long-term focus. Ano to? Should it promote short-term versus long-term focus? No. It should do the opposite. So dapat, ayan, it should have a long-term focus. Diba? Kasi anong ibig sabihin nito, diba? If hindi mo sunod yung goal congruence, you get, sabi natin to kanina, goal incongruence. Goal incongruence. Short-term versus long-term focus. Kung nag-focus ka masyado sa short-term, na-sacrifice mo na yung long-term goals mo. What is that called? That's myopic behavior. Diba? So, ayan. It should promote goal congruence and discourage myopic behavior. Reminder lang, pinapag-usapan na natin kaya hindi ko na ulitin ng sobra-sobra. So, yung feedback rin natin, importante yan. Okay? So, if you don't give your people feedback, anong mangyayari? Diba? Hindi nila makokorek yung mga maling ginagawa nila kasi hindi nga nila alam na mali yung ginagawa nila. So, kaya tayo nag-evaluate ng performance. Kaya tayo may variance analysis. Diba? We're doing the check, the undo check act. Pero you have to make sure na yung measures na rin na napili mo, diba? Sukat yung timing nila. What does this mean? Kung may kailangan akong bagay sa'yo, tapos ginawa mo na, natapos na, hindi mo na pwede palitan, hindi ko pa pala gusto yung output. Do you think there's still time for me to give feedback? Sasabihin ko, pangit yung ganito palitan mo. Ano nga ba palitan eh? Diba? So the timing of feedback is important. Diba? Feedback na hindi na provide sa tamang oras, walang kwenta yan. Diba? Parang tapon tayo ng corny kasi tagal na natin nagsasalita, baka may sleepy na sa inyo, no? Sabihin natin, diba? May crush ka pa dati, tapos akala mo hindi ka rin niya crush, diba? Hindi ka ba crush ng crush mo? Tapos ngayon may asawa ka na, may anak ka na, CPA ka na, magiging CMA ka na rin. Diba? Congratulations sa'yo. Tapos, biglang sabi sa'yo ng crush mo dati, alam mo ba, nung bata tayo, crush rin kita. Diba? May influence ba yung input niya? Sana wala, diba? Sana hindi mo takpuan yung pamilya mo pa na pumunta doon. Pero, yun, diba? Useless na yung feedback na yan. So, again, diba? Feedback relies on timing as well. So, the proper timing of feedback depends on who the information is going to. Diba? How critical the information is and what the information is mismo. So again, who? And then, ano yan? How critical? How important is this information? Diba? So eto, hindi ko bubugin na, pero sa workplace, this is very important. We talk about project management. We talk about project management. We talk about change management. But you have to decide how often you communicate with your stakeholders, diba? Kung siya yung nasa tuktok, diba? Ikaw top level management ka, everyday ka bang bibigyan ng updates about what's happening on the floor? No, diba? Kaya nga meron tayong monthly reporting. Kung very critical siya, diba? Kailangan mong pantayin lagi, pwede mong iksihan yung time frame. Diba? So, we won't delve into why that's important. I mean, we won't delve into yung mismo examples. No? Pero it's definitely important. Kasi imagine mo CEO ka. Tapos, everyday ini-email ka kung anong nangyayari sa production floor. Magtutuwa ka ba? Ako hindi. Kasi yung laman ng inbox ko, napuno na. Full of information na hindi naman siya yung kailangan kong tutukan everyday. Kasi may lower level managers naman ako. Diba? Anyways. So, yung performance measures natin, may mga hindi pa tayo napapag-usapan. Okay? And ano yung mga yun? Yun yung mga measures for an investment center. So, ayun, in addition to the contribution income statement na napag-usapan natin kanina, ayan, dapat alam nyo rin to. And usually, ito yung main na ways kung paano natin in-evaluate ang isang investment center. Ano yung difference? Bakit hindi lang contribution income statement? Etong contribution income statement, yan yung magbibigay sa'yo ng profit. Kailangan mo siyang i-evaluate based on the investment na pinasok mo. So we have return on investment. This is, ano siya, you can compute it two ways. Actually, one way lang naman siya. Pinagsama mo lang yung different perspectives niya. So, again, what separates an investment center from a profit center? Ang profit center mo, ine-evaluate mo based on profit. Ang investment center, tinitignan mo yung profit in the context of how well you are generating profit using your assets. So, dalawa yan, di ba? I think, baka hindi pa kayo nag-part 2, pero meron tayong financial statement analysis, di ba? There are two things that, maraming aspect yun, di ba? Liquidity, profitability, and so on. May dalawa tayong tinitignan based on that statement. Are you generating profit? So that's profitability. Yeah. Profitability. What else are you looking at? How well you are generating returns from your assets. That is turnover. Okay? Turnover. So you're looking at your profit or your margin, diba? And then your turnover. Turnover. Ayan. So, ano ba yung formula ng turnover? Diba? Usually, when you look at this, you're looking at how much revenue you generate from your assets. So, this is sales or revenue times operating assets or investment. Diba? We'll talk later about kung ano yung mga pwedeng gamitin na denominator kasi hindi naman yun static. Again, it depends on the needs of the company. Everything that we're talking about, rules lang. Diba? Hindi ka naman pwedeng gumawa ng bahay na martilyo lang gamit mo, diba? Kailangan mong gumamit ng judgment on which tools to use. So, ito yung turnover natin. Paano yung profit margin? It's simple, diba? You want to see yung income mo or yung profit mo as a percentage of your sales or your revenue. Ayan, diba? Na-cover ba natin yung need natin pag-usapan? Yes. We can see how much we are generating in the context of how well we are using the assets to generate those returns. So, tingnan mo ang ganda ng mindset natin sa formula na to. We're looking at yung margin or yung profit, and we're also looking at turnover. When you multiply, diba? When you combine these perspectives together into one single perspective, diba? How efficiently or effectively am I using my assets to generate income? Tignan mo, nagkaka-cancel out yung formulas. May sales ka sa denominator ng isa, nasa numerator siya ng isa. Ano nangyayari dito? Diba? You get one formula, and that is income divided by assets or investment. Diba? So from this, ito very useful siya sa essay portion. It's only one formula, but it comes from two perspectives that we are trying to check. Okay? Walang turnover, wala tong buong formula na to. Ano yung in-evaluate mo? Hindi na yan investment center. At hindi naman lang kasi profit. So profit center lang yan. Okay? Alright. So ano yung residual income naman? Ito naman, this is your asset base. Diba? Iwalay ko to. This is your asset base multiplied by your target rate of return. So target, return. So kung sabihin natin, diba, ang target rate of return natin is 20%. Ang asset base mo is 1 million. Magkano yung target profit mo? Diba? Etong pinakita ko sa iyo, target profit ang tawag dyan. Alright? Target profit, required income. So, ayun, basta siya yung kailangan mong maabot. So, saan galing yung 20%? Usually, pag naglalagay kasi ng rate dito, that is your hurdle rate, your required rate of return. So, you'll talk about this in part 2 kung napag-usapan nyo na this is your weighted average cost of capital. Diba? Hindi naman siya exactly yun kasi pwede pa rin magbago. Basta, yung rate na kailangan mong makuha is yung returns required by your investors. Diba? So returns yan. And you need to add a premium for the risks that you face undertaking this project. Diba? Don't settle for less kung alam mo mas marami ang pwedeng mawala sa'yo. Ganun lang yun. So, yun yung risk. Tapos, return, very self-explanatory. Ito yung kailangan mong ibalik. So, kapag nakuha mo yan, usually, weighted average cost of capital ang ginagamit. Pero again, diba, ito ang importante ng concept dyan, risk and return. Makukuha mo yung required income mo, required income. So, dito, it's 200,000. Paano mo malalaman yung residual income mo? It's simply, meron kang target income. Ito yung formula niya. Target income less actual income. Diba? Or operating income. Actual operating income. Oh, panalo ka na dyan. Paano kung yung operating income mo is 140,000? So, 140,000, magkano yung residual income mo? 200,000, target mo, 140 lang kinita mo. Meron kang negative 60,000. So, mali yung order ng formula ko, no? Para mas madali na sa inyo agad. Ito na isipin nyo. Ang formula natin for residual income is operating income. So, actual yan, syempre, minus target income. Okay? Ayan. Ano yung formula mo ng target income? It is your asset base multiplied by target rate of return. Good? Alright. Ano yung economic value added natin? So, the economic value added, diba, ang residual income, anong ibig sabihin nito? This is just a peso equivalent. Para siyang peso equivalent ng return on investment. Kung kinumpare mo yung return on investment sa target rate of return. Diba? Eto, ginawa mo ng monetary figures. Imbis na isusolve mo pa yung ROI, and again, ang ROI guys, percentage yan. So, imbis na kukunin mo yung ROI, i-evaluate mo based on target rate of return. And ang ginawa mo na lang, kinuha mo yung figure ng difference nila into a specific monetary amount, a dollar or a peso amount, diba? So, yun yung residual income. Ano ang sinasagot ng economic value added? Kasi itong ROI, it is the return on the investment in percentage form. Residual income is the return on the investment over it is the return over yung target income natin, diba? Pero parehas pa rin naman yung itsura niya, diba? Based from the assets, dapat may ma-recover ka na specific amount of income. Ano ang sinasagot ng economic value added? Diba? Ano ba kasi yung formula ng economic value added? Mag-erase ako, ha? Sige, wait lang. I'll screenshot this for you. Oops, sorry. Sorry. Ayan. Kasi mag-erase ako. Ano yung formula ng economic value added? Sorry. So, ang titingnan mo dito is operating income after tax. Ang gagawin mo dyan, diba? I-minus mo siya sa required or target income. Para siyang residual income, diba? Required income. So this will give you what? This will give you economic value added. But there is an extra consideration here. What makes it different from residual income? Yung operating income mo after tax. Bakit? Diba? Ano ba yung operating income after tax? This is your operating income. Anong ibabawas mo sa operating income? The financing that you used. Diba? Again, yung assets mo saan yan galing? Dalawa lang naman. From creditors in the form of liabilities, and then from investors in the form of equity. Yung equity mo kasi, pwede mo siya lang bigyan ng returns in the form of dividends, in the form of capital appraisal. Pero fixed ba yan? Diba? If you're not talking about preferred dividends, yes. Pero usually, diba, they're taking the risk of the investment. Pero kung creditor ka, kailangan bigyan ka ng interest. Diba? So, kailangan mong isipin yan kasi part yan ng pag-finance ng assets mo. Okay? Yung assets na in-evaluate mo, diba? Diyan yan galing. And yan yung ginagamit natin to evaluate the investment centers. So, residual income, return on investment, anong ginawa natin? Kinuha natin yung operating income. Anong additional consideration natin sa economic value added? Yung tax. Diba? Anong ini-ignore natin dito? Yung interest expense. Bakit? Kasi related yan dito. So, you don't want to do that. Ang tinitignan mo kasi yung economic value added ng investment mo na tinatanggal mo yung effects ng financing. Alright? So, operating income, wag mo munang ibawas yung interest expense. I-multiply mo na yan ng tax retention rate mo. What is tax retention rate? This is just 1 minus your tax rate, diba? Makuha mo si operating income after tax. Yung required income mo, parehas rin naman yan sa pag-solve sa residual income. Pero ang problema dito is your asset base. Minsan nag-iiba yan. When it comes to yung asset base na ginagamit mo, if buong assets yan, kailangan mong tanggalin si current liabilities. Diba? Tinitignan mo lang yung economic value added to the creditors sa perspective ng diba? Sa long-term sources of financing. Diba? Kasi nangutang ka and then nag-invest sila sa'yo para makuha mo yung assets. Ang current liabilities mo usually, diba? Spontaneous sources of credit yan. Ibig sabihin, may naging lang. Nagpanik ako. Kala ko may magnanakaw. Asa lang pala. Yung spontaneous sources of credit mo, diba? Hindi naman sila yung nagbuo talaga ng assets na pinapaikot mo. Hindi ko siya ma-describe in the exact words that I want to. Pero ang gusto kong sabihin dito is, diba? Long-term creditors and then yung investors mo give you yung main assets that you need to start. Siyempre, importante pa rin yung working capital mo, pero tinitignan mo kung based sa binigay nila sa'yo. Diba? From the long-term creditors and the investors, ilan yung nababalik mo sa kanila. Diba? Pero tatanggalin mo yung interest expense kasi you really owe this to the creditors whether or not na kumita ka o hindi. Diba? So, tinatanggal mo yun kasi eto, ang sinasabi ko dito, hindi mo na siya binabawas. Diba? Hindi mo na siya binabawas kasi part pa rin naman yun ng value na binabalik mo sa long-term creditors. Gets? Alright, so actually, patapos na tayo dito. No? We just have slides to expound on this. So, we have yung return on investment natin. Diba? Napag-usapan na natin. This is the formula we talked about. And then yung assets mo, diba? Paano mo siya i-distinguish? It depends on the needs of the organization. So this is a key performance measure for an investment center. Diba? Etong ROI na to. Pero ano yung context or ano yung assets na binibase mo para tignan kung magkano yung bumalik? So, eto lang siya. Diba? You can use any of these depending sa problem. Diba? Sasabihin niya naman pero ang usual na ginagamit natin is yung kung the problem is silent, total assets employed. Bakit? Kasi ito yung ginamit mo para i-generate yung profit. Diba? Kung total assets yung ginamit mo, pero isipin mo to, meron kang 1 million na assets, to generate yung profit na yun, diba? Yung 300 na yan, idle pala. Hinihintay mo na lang kung paano i-dispose. Ang ginamit mo na lang talaga, 700. Sa operations mo. Anong mas reflective of the manager's efficiency in using those assets? Or in yung effectiveness niya in using those assets to generate revenue? 1 million or 700,000? Diba 700,000? Kasi yun yung ginamit niya, diba? So, usually, mas maganda gamitin yan. Pero, Madalang lang ako nakita ng problem na ang daming binigay sa yung type of asset, tapos mamimili ka, problem is silent. Pero if the problem is silent, ayun, you use the one that makes the most sense. And bakit ba tayo nag-evaluate ng ROI? To see how effective we are at using assets to generate profit. And kung hindi mo naman ginamit yung assets na yun, is it fair to evaluate you based on the assets that you didn't use? Hindi. Diba? So yun lang naman siya. Ano yung advantages and disadvantages ng ROI? Ang ROI kasi madali siyang intindihin kasi naka-percentage yan. Kung sinabi ko sa'yo, based sa assets na pinasok mo, kumita ka ng 30%. Do I need to explain further what this means for you? Hindi. Ibig sabihin nakabawi ka ng 30% of your investment. Hindi ka ba matutuwa dyan? Diba? Depending on yung target rate of return mo pa rin. Pero if yung target rate of return mo is 15, ang ROI mo is 30%, oh wow, nadoble ko pa. Diba? Ang dali niyang i-explain. Diba? Ano pa? When you're comparing ROIs for different segments, for example, meron kang segment A, segment B, or kung bine-benchmark mo siya sa external competitor mo, ang mangyayari dito is, diba? Si A, 30% ang return niya. Si B, ang return niya is 25%. Madaling intindihin. Diba? Wala ka ng problem on paano yung scale ng operations nila. How do I effectively compare a sari-sari store to a mega mall like SM? Diba? So, or a mom and pop shop with like well-established chain store. Diba? So, kung ganun kasi gagawin mong monetary figures, definitely mas maliit yung sa sari-sari store kumpara sa SM. So how do you make a meaningful comparison of what they're doing? The answer is you can't kapag mag-monetary figures ka. Kailangan mo silang i-translate. Pag nag-ROI ka, nandun ka na. Diba nakita mo, okay. So they have the same or like close na figures when it comes to the return that they generate from their assets. So are they doing well? Yes. Pero kung nag-monetary figures ka, sabihin mo si A, eto yung sari-sari store, eto si SM, si B. Ang profit ni sari-sari store in 1 month, sabihin mo, kunwari 30,000. Kunwari lang. Tapos si SM, sabihin mo, 1 million. Oh, ano sasabihin mo? Ang pangit pa rin ng sari-sari store. 30,000 lang naman siya. Pero isipin mo ang sari-sari store, significantly less yung assets na kailangan mong ipasok para magpatayo ng sari-sari store compared sa SM. Diba? Ayan. So, ano pa? Okay. When a manager is evaluated using ROI, eto na siya. Diba? May disadvantages tayo in the form of, ano yung disadvantages niya? Yung rate mo, usually, anong ginagawa mo? Kino-compare mo yan sa target rate of return. Pag kino-compare mo yan sa target rate of return, or ito yung usual na nakikita mo sa CMA exam, kino-compare mo siya sa historical ROI. What if you have a project that will give you 25% ROI? Dati pa, lagi kang kumikita ng 30% or more. What will happen if you are evaluated using ROI, tapos may project na 25% yung return niya, compared sa historical rate mo of 30%? Ano mangyayari sa'yo? Accept mo ba or reject? Normally kasi i-reject yan. Kasi ang mangyayari, 30% ang target mo. Mas mababa ang 25%, so i-reject mo. Kasi if you take that into account, hihilain niya yung ROI ng buong division mo. Pero, ayun na nga, diba? What if in monetary amounts, ang target rate of return mo is 15? Diba? So, 25 minus 15, kung titignan mo yung monetary amount ng kita mo dito, it will actually benefit the firm as a whole. So, anong nangyari dito? We have a case of goal incongruence. The division wants to protect its historical ROI. Pero, nung ginawa niya yun, na-protect niya yung historical ROI niya para mataas yung performance evaluation niya, anong nangyari? Bumaba yung total income ng company kasi rin-check nila tong project na to. Diba? So nagkaroon tayo ng golden congruence kasi this is our rate. You can't see the financial impact immediately. Madali siyang intindihin pero it does not show you the whole picture. At ano ang ginagamit natin para i-solve yun? Diba? So, dun na pumapasok si residual income. But before we get there, just a reminder, wala kang nakikita dito na shareholders equity. Huwag kang gagamit ng shareholders equity. Okay? Alright. So, ang residual income, ayan, napag-usapan na natin yung formula niya. So this provides a dollar-based measurement. Diba? It's an actual monetary amount instead of a percentage. And what's the benefit of this? Can you spend the percentage? No. Can you spend money? Yes. Alright? So this will give you more ground to make better decisions. Kasi tulad ng nangyari kanina, percentage ang basis nila, hindi nila nakita na value-adding pa lang isang project na makikita mo kung gumamit ka sana ng residual income. Diba? So, again, ang target amount of return, this is based on the assets na pinasok mo. So, yung asset base na nakita mo kanina, pwede mo rin gamitin yun. Basta kailangan mo siyang i-multiply sa target rate. Okay? Target rate. So, this can be a number of things. Mapapag-usapan nyo to sa long-term financing. Lalabas rin siya sa investment decisions. This is your target rate. Okay. So, assets times target rate. This will give you yung target return mo in dollars. Ibawas mo lang yun sa operating income mo, makukuha mo si residual income. Okay? So, ang advantage niya again is pinapakita niya yung monetary effects. So, hindi na di-distort yung decision making mo. Pero, ayun na nga, diba? Hindi niya rin mako-compare yung items of different magnitudes. Like yung sari-sari store compared sa SM. Diba? Kung monetary figures yung ginamit mo doon, mahirapan ka. For that case, it's better to use ROI. So, ayun, diba? Anong mas magandang gamitin? Kung kaya mo naman gamitin yung pareho to make a better decision, why not? Diba? They each have their weaknesses, but they're not mutually exclusive. Pwede mo naman i-compute yung ROI, pwede mo rin i-compute si RI. And then you can make a decision using both. Wala naman pipigil sa iyo doon. Diba? So, can RI become positive? Yes, definitely. Can it become negative? Oo, diba? Kung negative ang residual income mo, it means that your operating income is not generating the value that you expected it to generate. Diba? Hindi niya naabot yung target return mo in dollars. So pag ganun, ayun, it might mean that yung project na yun or yung division na yun is performing poorly. And you can use your investment into another project that can make more money. Okay? Alright. Sige. May next slide tayo. So, eto, example lang natin, diba? How do you compute yung mga bagay-bagay natin? So, we have a table here. So, we have sales, operating income, operating assets, margin turnover. Ito na pag-usapan natin. What is margin? Margin is income divided by sales.